The memories of children are incredibly sharp. What they've been taught and learned from childhood often stays with them for the rest of their lives. Now
Yes.
imagine a young girl child being forced into child marriage, experiencing gender-based violence, and struggling with period poverty. No one to speak up for her, protect her, no one to help in building our future. Is this someone else's fight or our fight? When we say women supporting women, what does that truly mean? Who are these women that need to stand up for these girls? Welcome to another episode of the Speak With Our podcast. Miriam. You can call me Muriel the Talker, and I'm excited to be the host on today's episode titled Raising Our Voice, Protecting Girls, and Building Our Future. Is this your first time tuning in? This is a space where we invite women from diverse fields and professions to inspire, empower, and educate the next generation, especially young girls who aspire to make a difference in today's. Joining me as always are my amazing co-hosts.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Onemi Oluwafe. I'm so glad to be here.
Good afternoon, Miss Onoyemi. Thanks for
Good, af-
joining in.
Good afternoon. My name is Elizabeth Akitunde, and it's a pleasure to be here. And we're happy to have you, ma'am.
Good afternoon,
Thank
Miss
you.
Akintunde, as always. And in the studio today, we have an exceptional guest speaker. She's the voice of children. She's a child rights, gender based, and youth development advocate. She's also the executive director of the Kids Voice Initiative. She's here to share her insights on how to raise a voice, protect girls, and build their future. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming the incredible Mrs. Adanne Okechukwu. It's a pleasure to have you here with us, well.
Thank you for this privilege. Thank you for the work you're doing. You are so amazing and keep it up, okay? Thank you.
So before we dive into the conversation, can you briefly introduce yourself, ma'am?
Okay. My name is Adanne Okechukwu, like you rightly said. I'm a child and gender advocate. I'm passionate about the well-being, the rights, the capacity training, education, and everything that has to do with the well-being of children, the girl child especially, youth and women. So I'm a development professional. Yeah.
You're welcome, ma'am. So I'll be asking you a question. That question will be taking you down to the memory lane. Yes, it is how the Kids Voice Initiative come into existence. I believe there is a particular moment. There is that girl, or there should be that memory that made you think that the Kids Voice Initiative is no more. Now this is becoming a foundation for. So what led into building it, ma'am?
Yes. Really, something happened, and that sparked something in me, and that was the journey or the beginning of this journey. Back then in secondary school, I could remember very vividly in my SS2, I was the head girl of my school. And because of that position, I had this privilege of, working with children, young students per se, right? The junior ones were looking up to me, and I made myself approachable and simple. So one of the days, two girls from JSS3 walked up to me. They were so afraid and naive, but they had no choice than to just talk to their head girl because they saw me as someone that they can talk to. And so they explained to me and narrated their ordeals. What happened? These young girls were being threatened by my own classmates. You know this notion of you are in senior class and you are functionaries. Most of these guys, as at then, were not even functionaries. But just because they were in senior classes, they were using the position that they had, to threaten these children to, to subject them into giving into what they don't want to do. So they were at the verge of being abused sexually, and they opened up to me. I was so shocked. So we have to follow it up. I had to report to the school management, and we followed it up. And it's revealed that even behind the scene, it has been happening. Some girls subjected themselves, some girls had to accept just to be safe, just not to receive punishment, and all that. So it was a big issue for me then, and that was the beginning of what we are doing today.
Okay, ma'am, you said something like, can I say bullying? Can we call it bullying?
Yes, yes, it was bullying, and also they want to use force, to subject them into sexual relationship, because these girls, as at then, they were not ready for that, right? They were so they were so naive, but because of the fact that these guys were ahead of them in school, so they were using force, and most of the children also are falling victim, except for these ones that choose to open up and speak up.
How
This
did you resolve
problem
the problem?
came up. Yes, I had to follow it up, reported to the school or the authority. We have to single those guys out. They were punished, and after the punishment, that was when I now thought of. So most of these girls are going through this, but nobody is there to guide them, right? So I saw that as a problem. I saw that as a gap that needs to be filled. If not, some of them will still fall victim, right? So I had to, on my own, go to some of my female teachers. I talked to them, and they accepted, and we started a monthly mentoring this thing program. So we were having that section every month for the junior classes, especially the girls. And before you know it, some of my colleagues as well joined. So we were just having this to, encourage these young girls, boost their self-esteem, because some of them, they tend to be so naive, and they have this low self-esteem that just with the word of mouth, they will just subject to things that will not favor them. So that was how we started that monthly section, and it really made impact in their lives back then.
That was a great move. That's amazing. That is really, really amazing, because from an educator to being an advocate, imagine that, because of just a girl, because of just one girl. And do you know that if you were not able to cope the situation of that one girl, it can actually escalate to being many girls. So thank you for
Exactly.
that good work. Thank you for
Thank
that good
you.
work. And I think it's really worth it. It means it. In
Yeah.
fact, for a girl
Yes.
child, and I know that that girl child, when she sees you in future, or if she's opportune to watch this video as well, she definitely be saying, oh, she's talking about me. She's talking about, that's my story. That is me. And that is how
That's
I was
right.
able to like, I was able to escape
That's
through
right.
that
Yes, you're
situation,
right.
because I believe a lot of girls do get themselves traumatized due to this situation. They'll be confused on even what to do, because they believe that they are threatening them not to talk. So they'll feel like, if I talk, definitely I'm endangering my lives. So this is talking to most of the girls that are seeing themselves in this situation. If you're a girl child and you're experiencing this, you're experiencing such in your school, and you feel like you are not meant to talk, no, you are meant to talk. You are meant to raise your voice, because there is somebody somewhere that will stand up for you, and that will cop that situation for you. So at this point,
That
I will hand over
that's
to
right.
Donna. Thank you so very much.
Yes. Okay, Ma. Thank you so much once again, Ma, for the opportunity to learn from you. It is very incredible, the courage she displayed in that story. It is very, very incredible, because there are a lot of adult self that they are mature, and they still find it very difficult to speak up against acts like that. But despite the fact that she was in SS2, she was able to muster up courage to speak against it, because fear is one of the things that make evil acts like sexual assault to thrive in this society. So thank you once again, Ma, for the courage you demonstrated in that story. So the first question is, you work daily with issues like gender-based violence, child marriage, and poverty issues that don't always have happy endings. So can you take us to one story that has stayed with you, one that still sits with you till today?
Okay. One of the stories that has stayed with me was one of the that should be in 2024. We had a project in a rural community. I have once shared the story with another podcast program. And the people that came, that is the audience that came for this program, were young girls, teenagers, right? So at the end of this program, I noticed that two girls came, a friend called her own friend, and one of those girls was heavily pregnant. This girl should be like just within the age of 15, 16 years. She was very heavily pregnant. And after the section, I was so curious to actually speak with her. So I called her. What happened? Are you not in school? What is it? And she said that she dropped out of school because her parents forced her to get married. She was the first child, and the background, they were not well to do financially, and so they needed her to get married so that they can focus on the brothers. It was against her wish, you know so I was like, okay, how about the marriage? Are you coping well? How is it like? Her story was a different thing entirely, because she was suffering in that marriage, not as if she had, because some people like get married at early age, and the spouse might be a good person that will still support their future, right? But in her own case, it's not even about her future. Her future was already closed. At the moment, she wasn't happy, she wasn't comfortable, and the future is glary. So I had to try to, visit the parent, but there was little I could do about that, because she already married. I can't just come and be an intruder. But that particular issue stayed with me, because there are several children whose future has been closed down, you know, because I still believe that education is the first thing that will give a child that voice, and even that capacity to make informed choices. That story has stayed with me, and that is still part of it that is pushing me, that even if I was not able to change her own situation, because I met her when she was already pregnant and married, let me be able to catch up those ones that are still young out there. Yes.
Beautiful. I love your passion. I really, really love it. And child marriage is actually one of the things that can destroy the life of a girl child. And still, it is funny that in this 2026, there are still people, we still have parents that still have the mindset that a girl child cannot amount to anything. While I was okay, I think that was May. It was May. So I went to the market that day. I was preparing for my final exam, and then the man told me and said, do you know that at the end of this LLB journey, you will still end up in the kitchen? So he has, and it's not only him,
Okay.
there are a lot of people. Yes,
Yes.
there, I was so
Yes.
surprised that in 2026, because I was thinking that this thing happens in the villages, in the rural no, it happens in the city. Yeah, it happens in the city, and there are a lot of people that still have that kind of mindset, and it makes me believe that it is an intentional, like they do it intentionally, because they've seen a lot of women become successful, but then due to reasons that are best known to them, they still choose to have that mindset and to limit the girl child. So whoever is listening to this, please, you have to change. I'm even pleading self, because you have to change. A lot of our girls, they've lost themselves. They've lost themselves, and sadly, this thing is being passed down right from childhood. Yeah, a girl of like 8 years, you're already telling her that, is this how you do when you get to your husband's house? Is this how you shaking it? So, and jokes like your marriage or something like this, it makes the girl child, she'll be, our reasoning will be compelled for marriage. She'll be made to believe that what the only thing she can amount to is to get married successfully. So these are one of the issues that are afflicting us in our society. And I'm so happy that our people like you, they are doing marvelous works. Thank you very much, ma. So the next
Thank
question is
you so
that, ma,
much.
you've moved from research. Yes, ma. You've moved from research to advocacy to leadership. What has that journey taught you? Looking back, what has it taught you? What does it really mean for a woman to be strong in male-dominated places or places that are full of challenges? What has that journey taught you?
Okay. My journey thus far has taught me one thing, and that is resilience and purpose. When you believe in yourself, you believe in a particular dream that you have, a purpose that you want to exploit in the future, you keep pushing. It helps you to stay focused. Not as if it is easy. It's not an easy ride, but your determination is, it emanates from that belief that I know where I'm going. When I remember my why, that is what actually made me to start this journey. Then whatever that comes around, in thick and thin, I keep pushing because I know that most people are looking up to me. So I should be able to stand tall and inspire them to also believe in themselves.
That's beautiful, ma. Can you hear me, ma? Hello, ma. Sorry, can anyone hear me?
Can we- I can
Yes.
hear
Can you
you.
hear me?
We can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, ma.
I
Okay,
can
ma.
hear you.
Okay, so if okay, ma. So that is very beautiful because people that are close to me, they know that whenever I want to say anything, it is always based on vision. Because whenever someone is behaving, so maybe the person is being nonchalant about his or her life, the first thing I will say is there is no vision. Because if you have a vision as an individual, as a girl child, then that that vision, it will keep motivating you. It will serve as a source of inspiration. The days when you feel like quitting, when you are filled with uncertainties and questions, that vision will be your drive. But then if there is no vision, you just feel like, well, whatever life throws, I'll just have to manage it. You find it so comfortable to manage every situation. And those are the kind of people that will say, heaven already has his own plans. You get. So the vision is very, very important. It is very
That's
important.
nice.
So thank you once again, ma. We are really, really, really grateful. So I would like to hand over
Thank
to
you.
Miss Elizabeth.
Great. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you. Said a whole lot. And I believe that for everyone listening to this podcast would have been able to pick a thing or two that will be useful for them. Every girl child would have benefited a lot from this. So we just have like a few questions to go before we wrap up. And the first one I'll be asking for my end is that so when you say beyond partnership and programs, there's usually a personal like cost, um, burnout, doubt, moments where you feel like quitting, where you feel like not furthering or continuing. So the question is that what has the work demanded from you personally, and what has kept you from walking away, from quitting, from saying no?
Wow.
It's like a
This
two in one
one hit
question.
me so hard because I will tell you, sincerely speaking, it has not been a smooth journey. It has not been an easy one. It has been a journey full of sacrifices. Now, it has cost me two outstanding things. Number one is money. It has cost me comfort. At times, personal money that I should use to flex myself, buy human hair, buy clothes, and look good as a woman, I put it in this. I use my money to host programs. I use my money to, even just the recent one that we did in March, we had a group of body and another NGO that partnered with us, but still part of what that came from my own organization was also from my pocket. And for the past 4 to 3 years I've been doing this, I have been bringing out my own personal money. So, looking at this, it will be as if, Adanne, if you should put this one here, this one, you are going to, see the result in this place. But still, this problem that I've seen and this desire to fill in this gap has always been the thing that is pushing me. So I don't mind the amounts of money that I spend. I don't see it as a waste, because at the end of the day, I am making impact. And at the end of the day, most of these children, through their parents or even through themselves, they come back to me to say thank you. This recent one that we did, one of the beneficiary after the project, we also have to work with a school to identify indigent students. And one of the students that we sponsor, we cover their full school fees. One of these students lost the dad few months ago, and the mother called me. The woman was crying on the phone. I felt her pain, and I felt everything that have gone out. So all those things is what keep pushing me. I say, God, if I can bring glory to you through this initiative, I will do more. So this has been things that has pushed me to continue the work, even though it has cost me my financial, my personal money, and also my comfort, because the time that I will need to rest. I remember that 3 years ago I gave birth. My baby was just within 3 weeks, and I had a program, a project. I had to go out and do that. At that time, I was not strong, but I had to go. So it has not been an easy one. But what I'm doing, it gives me joy. That is just the thing. It gives me joy. Yes.
Wow. So from what she said, we could see vividly that this has cost her a lot. And one thing I would like to say in response to that as well, to add, is that there's nothing great, there's no vision per se that you want to birth or things that you want to get to do that will not cost you. They are called sacrifices in birthing a vision. There are so many things that we go through, but a lot of people, a lot of young ladies out there even have the mind of doing things or setting up something that will actually be of global impact, but they feel once the face of challenges come, it will cost me my money. Because you said something that was very, very funny but still very important to me. You said it cost you money, that you're supposed to use to get bone straight. And we all know that in times of today, like things like our bone straight for ladies is very important, because we need to
Yes.
beautify ourselves. We need to, do things that even make us happy and confident in ourselves. But all of this money goes into all the things that you are having to develop and build, and that is a whole lot of sacrifice. It costs you your comfort. So I want any lady out there, anyone out there, to understand the fact that it will come with sacrifices, and they should be willing to give it what it takes, because of what we tend to achieve in the future. So thank you so much for that, man. The last question I have here is that if for instance, a 12-year-old girl is in one of the communities that you serve, right? If she grows up and looks back at your work 20 years from now, the first part I would say is that, what do you think she would see? What do you think? So, and it is that question can also be reshaped into the fact that, what do you intend for it to be in the next 20 years? And also, what do you want her to be able to say changed because you showed up, because you started this vision?
Right. I see that if such a girl in the next 20 years should see me or come across me again, I believe she will be grateful to the fact that I made her believe in herself. Yes, because most girls, because of poor guidance, no one is there to guide them. They tend to, lose focus. They tend to see themselves as, I am not enough. So that girl, I believe she will understand the fact that I made her believe in herself, that irrespective of her background or wherever she's coming from, her future is bright, and she can attain any level on this earth that she wishes to attain, if only she believes in herself. And also, coming to your second question about what I see this initiative becoming, right? I see it, my aspiration through God willing and through God's grace is that in the next 10 to 15 years, we should not just be within Nigeria, we should like have a global influence across Africa, and also, to influence across the global stage. Not just because one thing that I have come to realize over the past 3 years that I started this journey officially is the fact that it keeps getting better day by day, right? I have not yet arrived. We have not yet arrived, but we are not where we used to be, and so that is it. It keeps getting better. So we hope and we desire that we'll be able to make global influence, not limited to Nigeria, right?
And amazing, and by God's grace, this that you have desired, that you have envisaged, would become a reality, such that even we can refer to this day. Every young lady listening to this will be able to refer to this day and say, wow, thank God that you showed up. Thank you so much, ma. That's been a whole lot, and I can bet that we have been inspired. Ladies out there, young girls, I also want to let you know that be inspired with all of these stories. They are not just coming as a coincidence. For you listening to this is just the word you need. Fill the headroom. Go ahead. Stand out. Do what you want to do. When you face challenges, go back to the drawing board. Be encouraged. Yes, it will cost you some discomfort. It will cost you some things, but always know that it is always possible. And with what our guest here has said, you would be able to, from the vision that she is working on, you will be able to refer to this and say, yes, thank God that she should also. Thank you so much, ma'am. I think we've come to the end of the question. That I'll just hand over to Miriam to round up. Thank you.
So the Kids Voice Initiative, it's a very big foundation, and I've been loving your works because you've not been reacting on words alone. You've been giving us evidence that yes, you are helping the girls, you are helping the young girls especially. And I feel like a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old, even more, in future when they see the Kids Voice Initiative, they will definitely be able to say thank you, and they'll be like, oh, you were able to solve their problem because it's actually a big thing that you are doing for them. Well done, man. I want to say well done and thank you for the good work, man. So thank you for coming, ma, and thanks for sharing your knowledge on this podcast. My co-hosts have said it all.
Thank
This
you
it
once
was
again for the
just a
privilege.
moment. It might just be a moment of pain, a moment of cry, or a moment of being confused as a girl child, as a young girl child that does not have somebody to protect her, that does not have somebody to help in building her future, as I said earlier, and is experiencing gender based violence. The initiative is there for you. Although they need sponsorship and every other thing, but someone is there. Someone is there to protect you. Someone is there to guide you. Someone is there to put you through because that future is very, very bright. So if you're a young girl that is watching this video, because this podcast is specifically for you, this podcast is made for you to be not be only be inspired alone, but to be able to push through whatever you are doing and wherever you see yourself. Just keep on going and doing yourself, and always raise your voice. Do not keep mute. No, your voice matters. At this point, the episode Raising Our Voice, Protecting Girls and Building a Future will definitely come to an end. Thanks for watching. Thank you, ma'am, for coming. Thanks. We really,
Thank you
really
so
do
much.
appreciate me, especially. I do appreciate you coming here. And to my
You're
co-host
most
as well,
welcome.
Ms. Onoyemi, Ms. Kids today. I really appreciate your presence here. Thank you so very much, ma. So the recorded video of this podcast will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, the Speak With Our podcast. Kindly subscribe, watch, and share. Bye for now.